Good evening and welcome, Hope Dealers. It's so good to see all of you. It seems like it's been a long time since the last call with an extra Wednesday in there. Before we jump into everything we have planned tonight, which I'm very excited about, for those of you who are registered for the Cancun trip and are freaking out because your September points show 0, we all show 0. It's just part of the system updates. Arbonne has not lost our points. They would never do that. And anyway, it should be all, caught up in a day or two. So just want to have you breathing there. So I'm going to just jump right in with a little intro on Kate Stone, who really doesn't need an introduction to most of you. But Kate is a district manager. She lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and she has a background in retail management, including being a store manager in the past of a Lululemon store. And I am so impressed with this one, a retail training manager for all 150 of the Fleet Feet stores. I have to say that one slower, Fleet Feet stores. We have all loved Kate's trainings in the past. She did an awesome 30 Days to Healthy Living one once, and then at least once has brought to us her knowledge of retail, her expertise in this field, and how she applies it in her Arbonne business. And I am so excited to hear from her tonight. The best part of Arbonne is the people who come into your life who you would have never met otherwise. So a huge thanks to you, Amber Lillystrom up in New Hampshire, for introducing Kate in Raleigh to all of us and giving me a wonderful friend and bringing Kate into the midst of Hope Dealers. So, and I also learned firsthand last weekend that Kate's as competitive as I am when playing a game, right? Yeah. So anyway, but tonight I am going to be quiet, grab my pen and paper, and Kate, I'm going to mute myself and you unmute you, and we're ready to take notes.
I love it. I can't wait. Thanks, Dina. I'm so excited to talk to you guys tonight. I have to shout out Rihanna because Rihanna and I got to drive 2.5 hours from the beach to the Raleigh-Durham airport this weekend after the beach retreat, and she got me going on all things holiday and planning November, and that's how this training came to be. So Rihanna got a little preview in the car, but what I'm going to share tonight is retail terms, trends, and then just a little strategy going into holiday. But first, I wanted to tell just a little story about my Arbonne kind of journey, and I think about it in the context of Black Friday. So Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, the biggest shopping day of the year, 2019, I had enrolled as a consultant, but I was like too scared to share the products with anybody in my life. Like I just wanted the big discount. And then Black Friday rolled around and I was like, everybody is shopping. Why shouldn't they shop with me? And so I just got the holiday catalog out. I think I had ordered one paper one, and my sister-in-law was visiting from Pittsburgh. And I'm like, you should look at this catalog. There's really great stuff in here. And she like ordered her whole holiday shopping list from the catalog. Like she was like, okay, yeah, let me get it all done. Let me order it. And she enrolled as my first preferred client. Then my mom did the same thing. And then I think I might have gotten the guts to share on social media. And I had a friend who was like, I used to use Arbonne skincare. I'll order an RE9 set. And that was in one day of Black Friday. So it got me started. It got momentum going. And my point in that story is that people are shopping on Black Friday and really in the whole holiday season. I don't want to isolate it to Black Friday. They have the dollars allocated. It's just a choice between whether they're spending it with you, with Arbonne, or they're going on Amazon, or they're going to the mall. Like they have the money put aside. It's just where are they going to shop? So if you can be front of mind and ahead of the game, then they're going to spend their money with you versus somewhere else. Then fast forward to 2020, Black Friday. That November was one of my best personal sales months. So just thinking about the change between the 2 years and how my attitude changed and just how fun and exciting it was, because I also have this perspective of what it's like to wake up at 4 a.m. on Black Friday when your whole family is sleeping in and you have to trudge to the mall to open the Lululemon store and be there with all the insanity of Black Friday. and it's exhausting. So to not have to wake up at 4 a.m. after a Thanksgiving meal and to be at home in my yoga pants and calling all these old friends and talking to them about Black Friday and enrolling as preferred clients and like helping them do their personal holiday shopping was so much fun. It felt like service. Um, yeah, it just was so much fun. So I encourage you to just leverage the holidays and think about what you can create. The other thing I did do in 2020 is I did a virtual Facebook party in my own Facebook VIP group on Black Friday as like a stay-at-home shopping experience. And I was thinking about planning for this year. I think I'm going to do the same thing, but this year I think I'm going to do it in early November, maybe even October, because last year's climate was very different. Like people were staying home more. It felt like people didn't want to go to the mall. So this was like a virtual way of shopping on Black Friday. But I think that the tone and the trends have shifted. But you could absolutely do different things on that holiday weekend. Um, so now let's dive into some like retail terms. So Dina always remembers this one, but I'll bring it up again because it's the foundation. It's SWOT, sell what's available today. That's the acronym SWOT, sell what's available today. So you only want to sell what's available today because that's what you have in inventory, and then you don't have disappointed customers. And so the holiday set is live, you guys. It's up on the website. You can still order your I Want It All consultant pack, which I highly recommend because I use that as like demos and for your holiday parties, and then I give it away as holiday gifts. But I say earlier rather than later, like don't wait on promoting the holiday line and plant in people's minds that the holidays are coming. Start your list right now. Who you're gonna have to buy the gifts, so why be stressed about it? Like write them down now and start checking those people off your list. And I have amazing holiday gifts that are already available right now. Um, and I just think that's such a service because it alleviates stress for people. Like the holidays can be stressful. And so if you can be a personal shopper for people and help them get organized and check those people off their lists, it's a great service. I don't know if you guys have read in the news also the update about the Postal Service. So the Postal Service just raised their shipping rates temporarily, and they also said to expect a 30% slower delivery rate now through December. So that's another piece to tell people and educate them on is like, you need to order your Arbonne gifts. And then if you're going to be shipping them across the country, they need to get in the mail earlier. Like you can't wait until December 21st anymore. It's just not going to happen if you're trying to get things there by Christmas. So again, it fits with the whole story of like earlier is better. Get it done now. Also, the holiday set is all limited time only. So once it sells out, it's going to be gone. So that's another thing that you can leverage. So, and then on top of that, we have the early signups or the free signups this month. So if somebody is new to Arbonne, it's a great time for them to enroll as a preferred client. They can shop a little bit for them, they can shop a little bit for somebody else, right? Like they can combine their holiday shopping with that preferred client membership, and then they are also waiving that fee and they get the free gift. So it's all of those things. Like when I go holiday shopping, you guys, I'm always like, oh, that's nice for mom, and that's nice for me. Like, like I'm finding things for myself too. So like becoming an Arbonne preferred client is like a great way to do that. Like get some skincare, some nutrition for yourself, some fizz and some protein powder, and then get a couple hand lotions or something for teachers or different gift ideas. So we have early signups. Then oh, and then also the with renewals. So this is the point I asked in this question in the group because I always get confused. But your renewals apply to October and then also November. You can contact all those people right now for free renewals with a gift with a 150 order. So leverage that whole list for renewals. And then the last thing I did today, which I think is going to be super fun and helpful, is I printed off of the source the holiday gift guide. I just did it in black and white. It's not so cute, but just so that I had a reference here of all of the things. But then what I did was I went into my recommended cart and created recommended carts that mirror what's in the holiday gift guide. So like the way they're naming it in here, and it's also consistent on the website. So it's going to be really helpful for somebody shopping. So we have like joyful moments under $25. And then it lists all the gifts under $25. And I created a recommended cart that's all the joyful moments under $25. Because what I just learned, I think in the latest bulletin, is that you can send a recommended cart to multiple people. And even if they edit it, it doesn't affect that cart for everybody. It's just like a universal link. I didn't know that until I read that. So you can create these recommended carts for these 3 things here, gifting for every budget, and use them all holiday season as like, well, what's your budget? What are you looking for? Or send all 3 recommended carts. Here's your joyful moments under $25, bright ideas under 50, and then holiday luxury over 50 are the 3 ways that they break them down. So then I just think it's a really simple way for people to shop, and they can always edit the cart, right? Everything's in there, but then they can also edit the cart. And then the other thing I did with the recommended cart today is I started brainstorming outside of the holiday line. What are the other products that are great gifts? And thinking of like those certain archetypes. So like teachers, bus drivers, like, you know, your hairstylist, like who are the people who you want like a little gifty for? And you could do a recommended cart of like great gifts for teachers or great gifts for him, right? And do like a gendered one if that would be helpful. But I was just thinking of like, what are those broad categories that would help people narrow things down? Because when they're looking at the website, especially for the first time, it can be really overwhelming. So like great gifts for her outside of the holiday line, like I threw in a couple lip glosses, hand cream. I tried to go through every category: protein powder, fizz, some skincare, but more like detox masks and stuff than like the whole age well set. Just thinking of like other things that would be cool gift ideas. So you could really go wild with that, like whoever your people are, but thinking of recommended carts for them. And then just tell your preferred clients, like, you don't have to buy everything in the cart. I'm just giving you a whole gift list idea, and this is a really easy way to send it to you. And we can keep reusing those over and over again. So like in thinking about doing holiday themed Facebook parties, I'll just have all those recommended carts to send to people. And I'll just ask them a little bit more about like, well, you know, who are you gifting to? What are they like? Oh, I have a recommended cart I can send over to you. The other thing to remember is even with the holiday luxury over 50, like those more expensive sets, remind people that they can break things up. So they don't have to give that whole set, but they could order the set and then like the one set could become 2 or 3 gifts. So just it can expand their perspective on everything. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure. Oh, and then the other thing, because I was cruising the website, is don't forget about the holiday items from last year that are in the sale section, because they're still great gifts. So there's a candle from last year that's in there, that coconut set that has that amazing body polish and that amazing detox oil that smells like a tropical vacation. And there's one other set too. So don't forget about those other sets that you could include in your recommended carts for people. So that's happy holidays, and plan it now. And I think the key for October with free signups is like push people to do their holiday shopping now with free signups and take advantage of the free gift and the free sign up and cross those things off your list, and less stress in the holiday season. And that's
Wow,
it.
Kate, thank you so very much. I could just
My
listen to you.
pleasure.
You want to keep going? I mean, I could just take notes for you for 15 more minutes easily. Love the recommended cart idea. I love the idea of jumping in and just doing this in your own Facebook client group now. And if you don't have that set up, then you can create, just host a virtual one. It doesn't have to be that you already have a group there, but I love the idea of, like you said, just not waiting and doing it now. Everything's still available and all that. It seems like I wrote down one other thing that I liked. I wrote down everything that I liked, but one thing that you said that I thought was awesome was including products outside the holiday line. And that way, whatever they're getting, some of that is able to be reordered. When they fall in love with the holiday, oh, it's gone. But when they use the holiday and then some of the year round, then they're like, I want more of this. I want to try this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's smart.
Yeah. I mean, you could even do like a recommended cart for like the gym goer, right? Like the person who would love nutrition, a recommended cart for the glamorous girl who loves makeup, right? You could divide it up that way too, just depending on how you're recommending things.
Well, you have my wheels turning because way, way back, Connolly, I don't even know if you were around when this used to be a popular idea for holidays. And it was the 12 days of Christmas. And you would show someone how they could order these 12 different gifts, and they were usually increasing, in price, size, whatever. And it was a challenge always to narrow it down because, the confused mind is going to say no, especially trying to get a man to choose 12 different gifts and, orders. Of course, I, brought them wrapped and with a little sticky note under, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. But to be able to send a recommended cart, what a visual. Like these could be your 12 gifts, and I would bring them wrapped and all that. So if anybody can, I haven't brought that one up in a long time because it's so confusing to introduce, but with the recommended cart, I had a father do it for a daughter one time. It was just adorable. So anyway, think, there's lots that our minds can keep going with this. So thank you so very much. Well, before I do a little bit of training tonight, I am going to share the screen for recognition, and Jamie Stafford is going to read tonight's recognition for us. And there you go. Let's congratulate these new in qualification for districts.
Awesome. Got my eye gels ready. Let's go. Can you hear me? All right. Congratulations. So here we go. This is in qualification for district manager. We have got Terry Jones from Arizona, Patrice Strachan from Virginia, Nadina, I'm so sorry, Pendleton, Cynthia Raber, and Brandy Davis from Virginia. Next, we've got the Achiever Award earners. So this is your District Manager Achiever Award. You get an extra $200. Amber Fry, Connolly Stewart, and Fran Babishak. Woohoo! And then Area Manager, you get $400. And that goes to Amber Fry. Congratulations, Amber Fry. All right, cue the confetti honor roll. So this is the top in sales and top in changing lives. All right, personal enrolling. So this is all with 5 plus 150 orders. You've got Amber Fry with 10. Woohoo, that's amazing, Amber Fry. Then you've got Fran Babishak and Connolly Stewart. So when you've got the star like Amber Fry, that means that you have earned the Fizzy Tin again. We all got to see her get that in Carolina Beach this weekend. All right, so we've got top district enrolling, Amber Fry, Fran Babishak, and Connolly Stewart. You guys see a pattern, right? Yes, we do. All right, top area enrolling, Amber Fry, Rachel Canfield, and Fran Babishak. Woohoo!
And
all right, and then top in sales and perfect brick. So top personal sales goes to Amber Fry, Connolly Stewart, and Fran Babishak. And perfect brick, so if you don't know what this is, that's $2,500 from you and personally enrolled preferred clients and new personally enrolled consultants. That's Amber Fry, Fran Babishak, and Connolly Stewart. Woo! Congratulations.
Wow, congrats to all of you. Jamie, thanks for reading that for us. And I cannot wait to see who is in there as in qualification for district and finishing district Next month, let's use these accelerated qualifications that Arbonne has put out there. I believe we're going to see some in-qualification area managers by the time we do this call next month. Well, I want to use just the last few minutes as a little skills training on having conversations with others about the business. Now, when I said that, if this topic strikes a chord of fear in you and you're like, oh, not this again, stop and ask why. Why is that? Often it's that fear of what that other person will think, fear that they're going to roll their eyes, whether they do it visibly or not, and think you are not in one of those things, are you? Fear that they're going to ask you if this is one of those pyramid things. Is this like Amway? If you cannot explain why it's not the exact opposite of a pyramid and the truth about how this business really works, those fears are never going to go away. They'll always be there. You'll always hope. I remember hoping at the beginning that nobody would ask me if it was one of those pyramid things, because I knew that it wasn't, but I didn't know enough about how to intelligently, calmly explain that and give the real facts. And I read and highly recommend that all of you read or get the audiobook and listen to The Business of the 21st Century. It will change the way that you think about this business. You will be so in awe of what you've been given that it will be hard for you not to stop every person that you see to tell them about it. I don't, but I do all the time think, oh my goodness, I wish I knew you better. I would love to share this. When you really understand the brilliant business model of network marketing, you will look for opportunities to share it with others, not shy away from them. And then when it comes to who am I making this about, think about that, because if you're worried about what they're going to think about you, or what they're going to say back, or if they said no, you're frustrated because I'm trying to grow my business, trying to promote, trying to earn that trip. If those kinds of feelings are coming up, it's a sign that you made it about you. How is their answer affecting the quality of your life? But when you leave a conversation, when someone said no, and all you feel is sadness for them, wow, they don't see it, or they don't see it yet. This could have changed everything that they were talking about. This could have changed everything for them. Then you know you made it about them, and that's so good. You just offered it. Remember that SWSW we've talked about so many times. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Someone's waiting. You know that I quote Rita Davenport all the time when she said at a conference once, how dare you not share this? And that just sticks in my mind, because the opportunity is the best product that we have to offer. It has more potential to change the course of another's life than our energy fizz. I know some of you might debate that one with me and say, but no, not even the fizz. If our focus is on how this could change another's life, and we're really coming from a place of love and service, that takes the fear away. And it's okay, whatever they say, because we've done our part in just offering it. It's not our job to convince, just to offer, sort through, see who is ready for what we have to offer. That said, another source of fear can be, okay, they said they'd talk with me now. Oh my gosh, I have this appointment to talk on the phone or Zoom or have coffee with them. What on earth am I going to say? That can strike fear. A great resource is on the source, and that is called Is Arbonne for You? You can print it out 2 pages or front back, and you can use that. Remember that the person who first shared this opportunity with me clicked through slides on a PowerPoint with me and read them. Don't think that you have to sound like Debbie Neal presenting the opportunity from the stage at GTC. You can read through the facts on Is Arbonne for You? And then there really are skills to learn once the conversation gets started. We can't assume going into it that everyone is going to want to leave their job. If we go in with the message, I love what I'm doing. Do you know, if you do this, you could quit your job and stay home with your kids. How do you know you're not talking to somebody who thinks, I love my job? And I would go out of my ever loving mind if I was home with the kids. You don't know that. So don't go in with that without knowing more about them. Or if we go in with a message about the income potential, we could be talking to someone who we had no idea has absolutely no need for an extra income. So how are we going to know? It's a real obvious answer, but I just want to see someone type it in the chat. How would we know? Someone, it's not a trick question. How do we know? By asking. Jenna, ding, ding. I should give prizes here. Asking questions first. I was trained, as many of you were, to have this little formula that we called FORM. You don't really need to write this down because I have a better formula to offer tonight, but I was trained with the good old FORM, FORM. F, ask them a little bit about their family. O, ask a little bit about their occupation. R was to stand for recreation, to ask a question like, what do you do for fun? What do you do when you're not working? And only then to come in with M, the message, and share our story, our story, Arbon's story. And that is pretty good. That's what I was trained on and have used. But I listened to Bob Heilig a couple of weeks ago, and he took it up a level, as Bob Heilig can often do. Highly recommend him. Your Virtual Upline is his podcast. And I thought, you know what, I could kind of check on a lot of the things Bob was saying, but there is one that I thought, this is something that I need to pay a whole lot more attention to. So this is going to be probably about 70% Bob, 30% what we've been doing through FORM already. So there's 4 kind of sections to move through in Bob's formula. The first is situation questions, opening up the conversation. And this is very much like our FOR part of FORM, asking those questions about their family, their occupation, what they do for fun. But he made a really good point that if we stay here too long, because it's really easy to stay there, right? We're not on difficult ground yet. We can do the little chit chat and the small talk, but that other person is likely to get impatient if we are taking so much time with just small talk. We're not offering them anything yet of value. They do the same little conversation everywhere they go and meet new people. And this is nothing different. So just to not camp out there, but to move on into what he calls the problem questions, which is uncovering their needs and getting a better understanding of the situation. Because what we have to offer is not of value to them at all until they recognize a need that they might have for it. So examples of questions, this one's kind of more of an implied question that we've all, I think we learned this back with the good old FORM. After they've talked about what they do for work, a great response is to say, you must love that. You must love what you do. And many times they will say, yes, I love this, but, and then whatever it is, it's so stressful. It takes over my life. I love it, but I'm not getting home till 8 o'clock at night. That type of thing, that will get, even just saying, you must love that. That sounds interesting. You must love that. We'll get them talking. Or do you see yourself doing that for the rest of your life? Just an interested question. Or based on what they've said, that sounds amazing, or that sounds stressful, whatever it's just sounded like to you. And then, how have you been managing work, family, volunteering? How do you manage all this? I often have asked someone, I don't know where I got this one, but I've used it for years and years, to say, do you ever think about what you'd like life to look like 3 years down the road, 5 years, 10 years? If it's somebody a whole lot younger, I usually let them, well, that's most people, right? I'll just save y'all from saying that. Lots of times I will let them off the hook by saying, you know what, when I was your age, I probably couldn't have answered that question because I had really stopped dreaming about what life might look like in 3 or 5 years. I just thought it would look pretty much the same as it did today because I didn't have a way to get from here to there. I probably don't elaborate that much, but I do kind of let them off the hook. Totally fine if you don't have an answer to that. It's just, but most people, I would say, I almost never have had one who didn't have an answer. It's an amazing question to ask because people are thinking more than you think about what life might look like, what they'd love. And then you find they have no way of getting there. It's great that they're still dreaming, but they have no way to get there. So if we skip this section, these problem questions, we're missing the opportunity to create any kind of value for them in what we might have to offer. I love that Tom Barrett wrote, I read this, I don't know, probably all of 15 years ago, to listen for the dreams, desires, and discontents of the others, of the other person. And then next in Bob's book are the implication questions, that just hearing the problems they present is not our cue to rush in with the answer of our message. The next questions are about helping the person to understand that you have something worthwhile to offer. Maybe they talked about health issues. So you could ask, in what other ways has your health impacted your quality of life? Or maybe something that they've shared that you can respond to. That sounds really hard. How do you keep the stress of all of that at work from impacting your family life? And listening to them talk about, wow, this really has taken a toll on my family. I haven't seen my kids, this. You really cannot script this. I hope you're not trying to write down a whole lot of, but it's just more to get your mind thinking of questions that you might ask to go a little deeper. Bob has names for all these. Number 4, the last one, is need payoff questions. I'm trying to track him on that. So apparently it's like the uncovering the need. And then here's the payoff, to ask questions like, well, how different would your life be if you could do this? How much better would your life be if this? How helpful would it be if you actually had a viable way to replace your income and have, own your time again, so that they begin to see how this could benefit them? And I just believe this is just smart, conversation. And it's good to have skills that just go deeper with every person you're talking to, really, whether it's Arbonne or not, so that you move past all that surface, tell me about your family, where'd you live, what's your work, and really get to know people. And the more you know, the more you're going to uncover their dreams, desires, and discontents. And then this last part is Bob's words, obtaining commitment. And I love this because it's not the commitment you're thinking of. It's not at the end of this conversation, they're going to sign up for $49 and start their Arbonne business. That's not the goal. The goal is just a commitment to take a next step. Maybe that's to listen to a Discover Arbonne, to a call, to read a story, to try some products, to get a few of their friends together for 15 minutes on Facebook while you show them how simple it is to do what you do. Picture a giant loaf of homemade bread that has just come out of the oven and it is amazing, and you want this person to try it. Is the best way to tell them to open their mouth and you try to shove as much down there as you can, or is the best way to just tear off a small piece, and want them hungry for more? And so that's what that step 4 is. It's just a commitment to take one more step, one more little taste of what you have to offer. So give this some thought. We still believe 100% in the value of using that Discover Arbonne s'more that's on our Facebook group, to ask someone to take a look at the overview of Arbonne and complete that survey. Ask your upline. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're new, they can show you what our Discover Arbonne s'more is. And it has a great survey at the end, which will give you a place to go from there. And then, based on what they say in that survey, a next step could be a conversation like what I just went through. And you are not alone. You could ask your area manager, you could ask your regional vice president, would they do this with you, so that it's a tag team. Don't sit back and let them do everything, because you want the person to know you're in this, you're confident, you're passionate about it, but really work together to have that conversation with them, with the security blanket of maybe having your RVP on the call with you. And I love, Jamie, that you said that you loved that question of what would you, have you ever thought about what you'd like life to look like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road? So I hope that is helpful to you, and we are going to close out. I see Nova waving goodbye to me. And thank you all so much, and enjoy October and putting all of Kate's great holiday sales tips into practice. All right. Good night, everyone.